Welcome to this episode of Colorado Films, the podcast. Today I'm joined by Ariana Love, sorry. She is an MBA candidate at Colorado State University Pueblo, currently pursuing her bachelor's in economics with a finance emphasis alongside her MBA. She is a brand ambassador for the Kickass Film Festival, where she has spent the past 4 years helping grow the brand, expand its reach, and build community around independent film festivals. Outside of film, Ariana is deeply involved in entrepreneurship and personal branding with a focus on storytelling, strategy, and redefining what modern ambition can look like. Ariana, thank you very much for being on the show.
Hi, thank you, Corey. I think we probably should have went over this first, but my name is pronounced Ariana.
Ariana. We did when I met you, and then I must have forgot. I'm sorry.
It's been a while. That's totally fine.
So sorry about that, Ariana.
It's okay.
For people who haven't heard of the film festival, how would you describe the Kick-Ass Film Festival in a sentence?
I think the number one word that comes to mind when I think about the space and the film festival as a whole is community. I've really watched people come in with zero experience in film who are today winning awards or, working on bigger sets, acting and getting paid in like large productions. So I think that that's what a community and that kind of support can do for you, is really take you where you want to go through the help, and just realistically through the right connections with other people, you just grow. And that's what I see in Kickass Film Fest.
Okay, nice. And what makes Kickass the 72-hour film festival different than a traditional film festival experience?
Well, I don't know about you, but I've never heard of any film festival called Kick-Ass. So that definitely is a differentiator for Kickass Film Festival. But I think that what I know about David Chavez and Jacob Rivera is they really focus the experience in on the filmmakers. So the event itself is designed to really give that shine and spotlight to all the filmmakers. Even if you don't win awards, your film is shown, and that's something that they make sure to do no matter what. They have over 40 films this year, and they're making sure to show every single film on the big screen, and that is something that really makes it different than any other film fest you'll ever go to. I mean, these film fests, and especially with Kickass growing so quickly, there's so many filmmakers, but they, time and time again, this is going to be year 6, and I think this is year 5 actually. Next year would be year 6, but they make sure that they're showing every film and highlighting every single filmmaker, which is really just so special, and it goes to show just why their heart's in it for sure.
Yeah, I think I remember Dave saying you had 44 out of 46 films this year.
Yeah, I believe so too. I think just 2 weren't able to meet the deadline. There's always at least one, it's tight, 48 hours. That's it. Or it's 72. It's 72 hours. I'm so sorry.
Well, you got the ad. Hey, at least you didn't get your guest name wrong. So you don't yeah, but okay. Yeah, it is. It's a tight schedule, and you got those 72 hours. And the festival requires filmmakers to include a specific line, prop, and character.
Yes, it does.
What does this constraint reveal about the creativity, and what were this year's line, prop, and character?
Oh, am I on the spot?
I can help you. I think I remember them, but we'll put you on the spot.
Okay, let's see. The prop was, and I know this, I do know this, but I just, I'll let you say this.
I think it was the prop was a lotto ticket, any kind. The character was a delivery driver, again, any kind, any person. I think the line was, "Don't blame me.
I voted for the
other person."
Yeah, or the other
position. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I, totally should have probably prepared these things, but yes, I think what it really goes to show is how beautiful these films can come out. I've seen the films, over the years, and it's like, you're thinking about it. These people have 72 hours to write, direct, edit the film. I've been behind the scenes of this process too, and it's hectic, it's crazy. And I think to make it to make it in that timeline alone, no matter what comes out of it, is really impressive. But these films really are high quality, beautiful films too, so it's really impressive. It goes to show that artistry has no limits, right? 72 hours, you're still getting a kick-ass film.
And what do you think time competitions like, why do you think time competitions like this are becoming so popular with filmmakers? Why do you think Kick-Ass is popular? Obviously, 44 films getting out in the course of 3 days is unheard of, but why do you think it's so popular?
I think timed film festivals in their own sense are getting more popular because, artists, they like a challenge, I think. You get so good at your craft and you kind of get, I think, maybe a little boxed into your ways, but there's no way you're going to be doing things how you're always doing them when you only have 72 hours. So I do think that artists like to push themselves, and that may be why that's growing. But with Kick-Ass specifically, it's the kind of experience that you don't just go to and never look back at. Kick-Ass is something that once you feel that kind of community and that kind of event, you see that there's something really special, And I think that a lot of people will see that when they come into the space and they're able to grow and expand within that space. And Kick-Ass itself is growing around these artists too. So it's really a beautiful community. So I think a lot of people, once they get on the inside, there's no going on the outside.
Can't get out. Nice.
Right.
Yeah. So what kind of energy or atmosphere can audiences expect at the red carpet screening and award show?
Oh my gosh, it's really just the best. It's so much fun. Out of all the years that I've been involved, I've only had one film in there, and I still just have the best time all the time. You can really expect red carpet. Everyone's dressed to the nines. What I really love is everyone's kind of artistic style through dressing comes out. So you'll see some pretty crazy outfits, crazy in a good way, just creative outfits, I guess I would say. And then you'll also see lots of glitz and glamour. Guys are dressed to the nines in the suits, and the girls have on nice dresses. And then you have just very creative pieces that you wouldn't see anywhere else, I feel like, other than a red carpet, of course. So usually there's like a place for photos, always. I say usually, but there's always a place for photos. Red carpet, definitely. Usually there's some sort of interviews going on the carpet, whether that's the creatives themselves. I was interviewed for a different podcast on the red carpet last year too. I actually need to track that down. I'm not exactly sure what that was for. So you're getting interviewed, whether that's by Kick-Ass or by other artists and creatives. It's just a very creative space. So I love to see everyone's outfits. I feel like that's kind of my favorite part. And then of course you have the ceremony. Last year they tried something a little bit new as well, getting kind of all the filmmakers on stage who were nominated, I believed.
Okay.
So they were able to kind of talk about the film and the process of that. Not sure if they'll be doing that this year, but everyone's highlighted, right? Whether that's on the stage or on the carpet, everyone has that highlight moment. I'm very excited to be able to say that Nova is also going to be hosting. Super, super excited. We had him the year before last, and he's just such a joy. So I'm excited for that as well. He does a lot of great crowd work.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And you've been with the festival for 4 out of the 5 years, correct?
I, am not the best with, obviously my memory is very much lacking in this interview. But I think more seriously, like contributing, I would say the 3 years for sure. And I do believe I attended on, maybe not on the 4th year. So I would say the 3 years for sure, with this being 4. That would make all 5, or that would make all 4, yeah, or something like that. All 4. I know I missed the first year though, which was super special, but I know also I watched David Chavez and Jacob's interview that they just did with Colorado Business Podcast.
Yeah.
And I guess they sold out even that first year. So just crazy success for the Film Fest since the very beginning, even that year I missed.
Nice. And how have you seen the festival evolved through those years? Like what have you seen from the first time you've experienced it, either be in the group, in the crowd, or making your own film, or helping, to what we're seeing now? Because I it's just from what I've seen when we were in Denver at the meetup to now, it's like, wow, it just caught fire almost.
Yeah, I think, well, like, for example, the spaces that we started in the years that I was a part of, Kickass Film Fest can no longer fit in those spaces. We've outgrown those spaces. Like, everyone could not go in there and like party for the red carpet and be able to even sit in the first ever theater either. No, there wouldn't be enough room. So that just goes to show like how many people over the years have kind of joined the space, which is what makes that community so special, where everyone is able to take off, whether that's acting or writing, etc. So just in this time, we've outgrown, I think, three-ish spaces where it's like that would no longer work for how many people are here today. But through people, I think, is what really amazes me the most. I'm able to see people from, the networking events that you're mentioning. I'm always at those, and I'm able to see people from that stage being like, oh, what is Kickass Film Fest? Like, I'm here for the first time. I want to get to know people. I'm a writer. I'm an actor. And guide them kind of through that first meeting and really watch them just spread their wings. And like today, people who I have introduced to the space just in that, initial networking meeting, they're now like working on big projects, winning awards and other film fests. So it's really amazing to see the growth in that way through individuals. And then what I love about Kickass Film Fest too is that these people aren't just like making it big and running away and you never see them again. We watch them from a distance. They're still in the space. And a lot of times they pick up other creatives along the way, and then you just watch these big like explosions of creative works. It's like really honestly very amazing, like the community in that way, seriously. It's
Nice.
really cool to see.
Yeah, and I've seen people from that meetup. What Quentin did the promo, and that was a Blood and Water was pretty cool. For you, what's one behind the scenes moment that really captures what this fest is all about? Like,
Oh gosh, I don't know if I could pick just like one moment and say that encompasses everything, but
yeah, I guess it kind of pigeonholed you there.
you mentioned Quentin, and I think he's like such a great example of what I'm talking about. I didn't necessarily meet him when he first was coming into the Kick-Ass space, but obviously he's definitely blown up. That Blood and Water film you're talking about is sitting at like 90K views last time I looked at it 3 days ago. So like they're doing big things, right? And they're still around to connect with. And so definitely he's a great example. I think about Chris Trilla a lot of the time. Like, I think it was 2 years ago, I met Chris Trilla, right?
Okay.
And I was at one of these networking events. I believe it was either Colorado Springs or Denver. And I'm like, what's your name? What do you want to do? You want to be a writer? Great. And introduced him to the space, kind of walked him around. I tend to do that sometimes, is kind of connect to certain people and try to see who I could weave them in with and pair together like a matchmaker for filmmaking. And today, Chris Trilla has, I'm not even joking, like last year, he won probably like 3 awards. He's writing these great, amazing films. I've worked with him in the Denver 48. We work together. So we, have adopted his writing because he's just so incredible. And he's just really just flourished as a writer. And, it's not all due to Kick-Ass. He has his own talent, obviously, but he's connected with people and been able to just really show that talent and like connect to the right people to where everyone's talent is kind of amplified from there. He's really blown up, and he's one that I think about too, where I'm like, wow, I saw you get introduced to the space, and today, like, look at what you've done. And he's still around. He was in a team this year, I believe.
Nice. And with those constraints, what do you think one of the biggest mistakes first-time teams make during the 72-hour challenge?
I don't know if I'm necessarily qualified to speak, but I would just tell you maybe a mistake that I probably made which was sleeping. No. Oh gosh. It's, you know, sleep is probably very important in that process, because you start to just get a little loopy without sleep, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Maybe the biggest mistake is under recruiting, possibly. Again, I'm probably not qualified, but I think bring on everybody, and then you're able to kind of like, then your characters, you're able to create your characters more vastly, versus if you only have maybe 2 or 3 actors, you have to kind of create the characters around those people. That's just spitballing, right? Please, I don't want filmmakers coming from me. I don't necessarily know, but maybe that's something I could, like a tip.
Okay. Yeah, no, I remember at the meet and greet, they were saying, you know, one of the films, a bunch of people quit because no one was musically inclined. They're like, can anybody do music? And it was one year, and they're like, no, none of us can do music. So yeah, I think with getting as many people as you can, you know, I think that would overcome something like that. But you definitely are. If you made a film and you've been in the film festival, you've done it more than most people. So I think you are qualified.
Yeah, I guess so.
What advice would you give to filmmakers who are on the fence about entering?
Oh, that's a really great question. I'm so glad you asked that. I think come to the networking events, right? Like, you know, it's a pretty chill and laid back environment, low commitment. We play games, you get like a bingo card usually, so you're able to kind of low effort network and meet the people that I'm talking about in this interview. So kind of connect for yourself and see if maybe it's a fit. There's usually no less than 50 people who show up. And so you're going to like somebody. And whether that means you join Kickass Film Fest or you work with someone on your own accord, you're going to meet creatives just like you, or maybe someone who fits that missing puzzle piece you may be looking for at these networking events. So I definitely would say, come to the networking events. It's low effort, low commitment. If you are scared of commitment, totally cool. And I think that after that, you'd be pretty convinced to stick around for maybe the next networking event. And who knows, you might even win a free registration.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool that Dave gave away a free registration, and the person who won it at the Denver ones, he's like, well, I guess I got to make a film now. And so you had to start going around and networking and talking to people. And even the registration fee, if it's not free, it's pretty reasonable, right? Like a couple $100 at most.
That's like the late registration. It opens usually like around the red carpet event. It's opening already again. That's going to be like your lowest price, and it slowly rises over the months. So
it's nothing that you're going to lose sleep over.
Yeah, especially when you get that big team, everybody could pay like $5 and you'll be fine.
There you go. So we kind of touched on this, but you know, the festival emphasizes community and networking. And how important is that for emerging filmmakers? I know for myself, you know, going there, I've already been able to talk to people, and you know, I'm not a filmmaker, but I'm trying to uplift the film community, and getting this, you know, it seemed like it's almost instantaneous. And you talked about some other ones. Do you see those instantaneous, like, oh, we came, low bar to entry, you know, really, you're not really putting yourself out there? Do you see that? How infrequent is it not to see that, I guess, to be like, oh, somebody came and they left? Like, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I would allow that to happen, right? I'm at these events, and normally if I see someone who maybe networking isn't like something you want to do, and I totally get it. I don't want to network every day. I'm pretty outgoing, pretty extroverted, so I'm probably not exactly who I'm talking about. But some people really just probably feel like that's not their area of expertise. But I tend to be like a guide, I would say, and I can kind of point that out. And I see someone who maybe isn't connecting, and I've had people literally be like, I'll be like, I'm gonna come help you, and they'll be like, yes, please. You know what I mean? Like, please. And normally if they didn't want that, I could kind of tell too and take a hint and not do that. But I think I've never seen a person leave and not leave with a smile, or just feel like uplifted, or leave without asking, if they didn't already know, what's Kickass? Like, what? So what is this that I just experienced? It's really super magical. You meet these people who aren't always there, for Kickass necessarily, but by the end, they can't help but be interested and intrigued and plugged into the community, because Kickass is a huge, huge part of the Colorado film community. I mean, after all these years, you have Kickass that has actually expanded outside of Colorado. So we have people who even fly to the red carpet event from other states and places to be a part of this magical community. I mean, I really can't express to you how important it is, that community piece, and how far I've seen it take people. And I just know that Kickass is growing with these people as these people are growing. And so I see that there's no ceiling here, especially with Sundance just moving to Colorado too. I'm really excited to see where that takes Kickass and the Kickass community and see them do some amazing things.
Yeah. So what does Kickass mean to you in the context of storytelling?
Oh gosh, I mean, for me, it's really all about the people. I see it from a different perspective probably than someone else, but I genuinely see Kick-Ass for the people, and the storytelling for me is through these people and what they're able to accomplish, and we're just here for the ride as Kick-Ass. We're just here to see these people accomplish great things and really like take over the world. Like I said, we have that Blood and Water film with Quentin and other filmmakers like Spaz, Spaz we just barely met as well. He was just in the community maybe 2 years now, but that has probably 100,000 views at this point. Like I said, it was 90,000 3 days ago. It's just like incredible to watch Kick-Ass just explode, and everyone's so supportive to stay connected with Kick-Ass too. Once they are achieving these huge things, they're just sharing it with the community. So it's like we all win when Spaz wins or when Quentin wins.
Yeah, nice. And so some of these films do well, like you're saying, almost 100,000 views. What separates a good short film from an award-winning short film at this festival?
Oh gosh, I feel like you're trying to get me in trouble. Let's see.
Opinions do not necessarily, reflect the opinions of Kickass Film Festival. Disclaimer. There you go.
It's true. Yes, I do not, and I'm not a judge. Kickass also, we have Jacob Rivera and David Chavez, who are the co-founders of Kickass, but they do not judge the festival. So their opinions about the films also are separate from the judges, and the judges are posted on the Instagram as well. Yeah, because it might be a little biased at this point, right? This is their baby, and they knew the people since season 1 who are still connected to the community, like I'm saying. And so they needed some outside opinions to make sure that it was judged fairly, and I really respect that. But let's see, what separates a good film from an award-winning film? Well, let's see. Gosh, it's really hard. It's really hard for me to say. It's important to follow all the directions for sure. I know sometimes with that 72 hours, you miss a thing here or there, but you got to have the line, the prop and the character. And then there's also it has to be under 7 minutes. I think it has to be.
I think so. That 7.
Yeah. So it's important to follow that, because you can't win awards if you don't meet that threshold. I don't know if I'm doing a cop-out answer here, but
that's fine.
That is important.
So you have some pretty talented judges this year who will be judging the films. Could you mention some of them and tell us who they are, what they do, and how they got involved, maybe, if you know that?
I don't know that. That's, I focus more on probably like the community engagement pieces.
Okay.
And I'm a volunteer as well. I do not get paid, but I just do it for the love of the game. But I know that one year they had the guy who like directed oh gosh, what's that movie? Final Destination. So I mean, it'll be news to me probably if you start telling me, but I wouldn't be surprised. They always have some very big name, like important people.
They do. I don't have it up now. I've seen some. I'm like, wow, good for y'all.
Oh
No,
yeah.
so I just like you, I have my notes and I don't have, I don't have a crew around me. I'm just sitting here trying to talk film. So
Yeah, totally. I, probably should have had that ready, but I will say I have no doubt that they are equally as impressive and talented as any of the past judges. They really do their due diligence. I don't actually know how they get connected to them and get them involved either, but the film community at Kickass, what can you say?
yeah,
They're very connected.
yeah. Have you noticed any trends or themes aside from you obviously have to do these? Because isn't, unless I'm mistaken, you have your line, your prop, and your character. But I remember them saying you also had genres, like people were assigned genres in that, or was I mistaken on that?
Yeah, yeah. So good point. They are. So it's pretty cool. They do it as like a live call on the day that it's going to start.
Okay.
And they do a big spin wheel, as you could imagine, with all different types of genres on there. So with 48 teams who initially had entered, or was it 40?
46.
46 teams, you
So
can imagine that was probably quite a few genres. So they did the spin wheel for every single team. And that's another thing where it's like, wow, they really put their heart into each filmmaker to highlight everyone and make them feel special, even through 46 teams. But yeah, so the wheel, and then you get your genre. And then if you don't like your genre or don't connect to it, you're actually able to spin again at the end, but you have to do two genres if you choose to do it that way. So that's the twist with that. But that's pretty cool for sure.
yeah, no, I mean, it's just how involved you are into that art. Like, okay, you don't like that, you can do something better, but you have to do, a comedy horror or a
Yeah.
musical or something like that. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that, and that's even better. Makes me even more excited now.
Yeah, it's everything's a challenge, right? It's the 72-hour challenge,
Yeah,
Kick-Ass Fest. So you can't just have a new genre because you want one. You gotta work for it.
yeah. What is your favorite genre to see pulled randomly?
Ooh, oh my gosh. There was such a good horror movie last year. So I'm a big horror movie fan on my own. And I say that, but lately I've been getting a little too scared for horror movies. But in general, I love horror movies. So and I really loved the horror movie last year. They know who they are. I can't think of the title of it, but they did win audience choice, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah. So
nice.
yeah, that was my favorite, one of my favorite films. I don't want to say I have favorites, but
It's up
I
there.
I love to see a good horror film, especially just indie style. It's like so raw and so real. I feel like that's what these horror films that are big box are really missing. Like we got to go indie on it.
Nice. Have you heard of Mandy Spooks?
Mandy Spooks. No, it doesn't ring a bell, at least.
I met her at the Scorpius Fest up here in Boulder. They had a month and a half ago, maybe. And she's looking at horror. She's local here to Colorado. She's up in the metro area up here. And she's looking at horror through, I believe, a Chicana female perspective. So kind of blending that, because a lot of horror films are made by, white guys. So it's kind of interesting to see her take on horror films as well. So if you, yeah, I think she's on Instagram or whatever, just look her up. And I think you two might have some good horror movies to talk about.
Absolutely. I love that. See, that's something I really love too, is just having these voices highlighted through Kickass Film Fest. There is just this natural diversity, I think, in Kickass Film Fest because, we have people from all over Colorado, and then now we're expanding outside of Colorado.
Yeah.
So you see so many different perspectives where it's like, yeah, it's the same line, it's the same prop and the same character in different genres, but it's like, wow, I would have never thought to go there. Like, gee, that's like very interesting, very, very so much talent and just really creativity that you see in this event.
Yeah, nice. So harder constraint or hardest constraint, prop, line, or character?
I would definitely, my opinion would be line. because I think you could always have like a quick cameo of a character, a quick cameo of a prop, but the line distinctly has to be kind of woven into the film, unless you have like a TV playing in the back and you're able to pull that off. Like that might be a good way to do it, but definitely line.
All right, well, there you go. There's a little cheat for next year's festival. It's TV in the background. All right. So what's the craziest thing you've seen a team pull off in 72 hours?
I think it's all pretty crazy, especially these films are like very high production when you put it into the context where it's like this was done in 72 hours. Yeah. The editing. Oh, you know what? Dead Hand Art, her film, I believe, just was it last year? And I get my years mixed up too. That's something really bad about me. But it was like this insane display of art and editing. It's just like 72 hours and you watch this like masterpiece and it's like, in the real world, because Kickass Film Fest is just, it's magic.
Yeah.
It would take years, maybe even months to pull something like that off. So I think like, yeah, that's pretty insane. Trying to think. Yeah, I think like what really gets me is the editing that goes into it, and then just like the high quality cameras and lightings, because I've seen the behind the scenes of what it looks like to set that up. And if you're not on a time constraint, I mean, even that could take 72 hours to get right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty
so what are you most excited about for this upcoming festival?
I'm excited about the new venue. So we're doing all new screenings on the 30th and 31st. That's going to be up in Colorado Springs for the first time. And that's pretty exciting. And then for the red carpet, that's also a new venue down here in Pueblo on May 3rd. So I'm pretty excited about that as well. I always have just such a great time at the red carpet party. There, in the past, we did kind of like the screenings, and then at nighttime would be the red carpet. So I'm also excited to have that more separate, because I think like from my opinion, I like a little bit more time to get ready for a red carpet. So everyone will have more time. I know in the past we would have people who like had their suits in the car. They'd come to the screening comfortable, and then it's like, hey, go get the suit, or like run to lunch, get the suit, and like come back for the red carpet, which I think is a cool thing too, because it just feels very like on brand, 72-hour, let's hurry up and get ready for the red carpet. But I think it's gonna be nice to take our time between the screening and the red carpet and really just fully soak into red carpet energy.
Yeah. And we're getting towards the end. Is there anything I haven't covered that you'd like to promote?
I think I covered it all. I even threw the dates in there. You'll have the link to Kickass Film Fest in the comment section. So definitely go there, check it out, and possibly purchase your tickets. And do that soon, especially for the screenings, because those tend to sell out, especially with how many filmmakers we have. We're super excited, but it's going to be a lot of heads. So get your seat and get it early. Yeah. I think we covered everything. I'm just super looking forward to it. And I know that it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, if you are wanting to register next year, keep your eyes peeled, connect on social media. All social medias are Kickass Film Fest. As you can imagine, that handle was not taken. So you can find us anywhere there and tap into the network and the community, whether that's through the networking events or getting involved with a registration. But who knows, you might win your own registration just coming and networking. So
yeah. Well, all right, Ariana, you got it right this time. Thank you so much for being on the show. I look forward to seeing you and everyone at the Kickass Film Fest in a week.
Thank you so much for having me, Corey, and I will see you soon.
All right, cheers. All right.